Well, we might have some pretty mild weather right now, but the colder months are coming. So is your car in tip-top shape? Matt Kieber is with us from AAA to go over some things to make sure your car is ready for the winter. Last thing we want is to have to call you guys up. You can get your notes in here.
You're good.
To call you up and say, tow me. I'm stuck on the side of the road, but obviously AAA is good for that too, right?
Absolutely. We want you to be able to try to avoid that, though.
Yes, yes. So I think the biggest thing that I've been seeing lately with these temperature swings, the tire pressure light's been going off.
Absolutely. So all of the temperature-related items, battery failures, tire pressure, tire condition, everybody's got to keep in mind that even though it's the end of October, we've had pretty temperate weather. So we start to notice a lot as soon as the temperatures drop, tire pressure lights coming on, lots of dead batteries, things like that. So everybody just needs to remember that seasons are changing and tire pressure, temperature, all that is affected. About every 10 degrees of temperature drop is about a 1 to 1.5 psi of tire pressure. So
what happens if the pressure gets too low? I mean, is that dangerous to be driving on that?
It can be. That's really the main reason for the tire pressure systems, is to make sure that you don't have an underinflated tire. The dangerous tires are the ones that are low on air. So you could have a blowout in an extreme case or something like that, but it does affect a lot about the way the car handles, just with the tread contact on the road. So the right air pressure really makes a big difference in safety as well.
And, you know, not to mention your gas mileage.
Fuel economy is big.
Yeah,
Yep.
we definitely want to save on that. So what if somebody has maybe an older car that doesn't have one of those, you know, warning lights or whatever? Can they come to y'all and get that checked out?
Absolutely. So all of our AAA locations have a free tire inflation station that's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that's available for use. A lot of people aren't comfortable doing it themselves. That's perfectly fine. We're more than happy if you pull up and stop up. We'll come out, check your air pressure. If you need some air, we'll top it off for you. Pretty much every vehicle 2008 and newer was required to have tire pressure sensors, but a lot of the older cars, they don't work. So checking your tire pressure once a month or whenever we have these big temperature swings is just a really good common practice to get into.
Yeah, so tires, one thing, make sure that they're at that proper PSI, right? And then another thing you mentioned is batteries. So we've had, you know, the cold days so far. We had freeze, you know, or frost a couple days ago. Were you getting a lot of calls for dead batteries?
Yeah, it was pretty wild the first cold night we had. The volume of dead batteries, tow-ins, people stopping in that had to get jump started. And we forget about, because it starts every time until it doesn't.
Yeah.
So most of these things can be avoided just with normal routine maintenance. Most places, when you're having your car serviced, oil change, things like that, it's part of the process to check the battery. You know, and the average battery life is somewhere between 3 and 5 years. So just because your battery's, you know, 3 years old or 4 years old, it might be getting close to the edge. Most places will test them for free, just to give you a status update, and then you can take a little bit of preventative measure by knowing that the battery's weak, replacing it before you need to get somewhere and the car doesn't start.
Right, and if you haven't been in for an oil change then in a while, now might be the time.
Absolutely.
Get all that checked out. And then something else is, we're going to be falling back here on Sunday. It's going to be darker earlier. Snow is coming. Visibility is going to be an issue on the roads as well. So what do we need to look for in terms of maybe our lights, our wipers?
So there's a lot of different ways to look at that. There's a lot of just tips that can be involved. When you're dealing in rainy, foggy, snowy conditions, sleet, which is this time of year, drive with your low beams on. Turning your high beam lights on make it worse because of the glare. And then make sure that all your lights function. So visibility for you is important, but you want to make sure that everybody else around you can see you as well. Especially in those foggy, snowy conditions, you can come up a car in front of you pretty fast. And if their taillights aren't working or aren't very bright, that could be a safety issue as well. Visibility then comes back to a good pair of windshield wipers. Test them now before you need them. Windshield wipers are one of those things that are often forgotten about until it rains, and you think, I need new wipers, and then it stops raining and
then
you
you
forget until the next time. So one of our processes when we bring a car in for service is we hit that washer fluid button, spray a little windshield washer fluid, make sure it works, and that the wipers wipe cleanly. And then make sure that washer fluid reservoir is full. When we get these snowy, sleety conditions, you get a lot of debris that comes up off the road, and the wipers alone will just smear. You want to make sure your washer fluid is also able to spray some liquid on to clear it off so you can see well.
So a few things to consider. You know, as I said, it's pretty warm out here today, but we are going to start dealing with those conditions here pretty soon. Might be time to get that car to get in and get serviced. You have a few locations here in the area, of course, Perrysburg, Airport Highway, Sylvania, right?
Jackman Road, Alexis Road, Oregon. So we have 7 locations.
Okay.
We've really also worked heavily with our vendors and our tire suppliers to put together some fantastic rebates and sale potential opportunities towards the end of the year to try to allow people to get the best deal possible. Everything's been difficult in the financial situation our economy's in. So whatever we can do to help out our members and just anybody walking in the door is important to us. So by having these specials on quality products, we're able to help people get into that need that they have when they need it at the best price possible.
Yeah, you never want to get new tires, but it's got to happen,
it's
right?
unfortunately necessary.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to shop around, make sure you're getting quality. And whenever there's a special event or offer, and there's going to be a bunch of stuff everywhere with Black Friday coming up, start looking now.
Do some research.
Absolutely.
Great advice. Thank you so much for being here today.
We appreciate it.
Yep.